Right, good evening, um, viewers and those who are online at this time. I believe everyone is doing good. I trust we are going to, conclude. Uh, we are going to look at something brief, something little on fulfillment of all things. This came up in a conversation I had with, a friend this afternoon when I pointed out to him that all things have been fulfilled, and they were fulfilled in connection with Jerusalem domination in 70 AD, and he objected to it because he believed that there are many things that are in the Bible. There are many prophecies in the Bible that have not been fulfilled yet, and so to claim that all things have been fulfilled is actually untrue. And he even believed that destroys hope. To preach or to say that all things have been fulfilled actually destroys hope. And so, I found it necessary, for us to produce a video out of it, to share it with him, to demonstrate to him that fulfillment of all things written does not actually destroy hope, but it rather establishes hope. And and so that is what we're going to look at. Now, does the fulfillment of all things written destroys hope? Uh, this is, a statement Christ made when he connected the fulfillment of all things written in connection with the damnation of Jerusalem. In Luke chapter number 21, verse 20, through to 22. The Lord said that when you see Jerusalem compassed by army, then know that its desolation is near. Therefore, those who are in the countryside do not enter the country. Those who are in farm, should, proceed to Mount Pella, for protection. Why? For these are the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. So, according to Christ, the event of uh, the event that led to the destruction of Jerusalem was in fulfillment of all things written, or in other words, fulfilled all things written. This is what Christ was saying. Now, what we mean by all things written are fulfilled or may be fulfilled. When we talk about all things written, we are talking about all Bible prophecies, or everything written, both in the New and the Old, have all been fulfilled. Not so. What that means is that the uh, the uh, the last days event have all been fulfilled. The what we call the end time event, they have all been fulfilled when Jerusalem was destroyed. That is what we mean by all things written may be fulfilled. And Jesus Christ posited, the consummation of all things in connection with the fall of Jerusalem that occurred in 70 AD. That is Christ's own edict. Now, so according to my friend, he believed that actually destroys hope, because he has a hope of waiting for the Lord to come, and then at which time there's going to be a literal angels and literal sounding of trumpet. Then there's going to be a biological, the dead bodies in tombs or in graves are going to be reconstituted. They are going to be, uh, pieced out again together to form, a being, human being, as they were, prior to their demise. And so that has been their hope. But Christ also said that the last days event, or the things relating to the eschaton, occurs in connection with the fall of Jerusalem. So the coming of the Lord, the resurrection, the judgment, the salvation, and everything were consummated. They started at a point, and they ended in connection with the fall of Jerusalem. That is what it means by all things written may be fulfilled. Now, this is Christ making that statement. But does fulfillment of all things actually destroys hope? Because assuming my dad promised to buy me a bicycle, and maybe next year August. So I have this promise, I had it as I have it for a hope that come August, God willing, next year, my dad is going to get me a bike. Now, let's say God willing, August comes and my dad gives me the bike. So the question is that, does the fulfillment of this hope destroy, or fulfillment of or am I going to feel sad because I have received the results of that promise my dad made to me? Am I going to feel sad? Does it destroy hope? Does the fulfillment of this promise actually destroys hope? Does the fulfillment of this actually destroys hope? See, that is the issue. People believe that when you say all things written is fulfilled, we are actually destroying hope. See, that is not the case. We are actually telling you that that hope has been established, and you now live in that fulfilled hope. You understand? When my dad fulfilled the promise that he made to me of getting me a bike, I am not going to feel sad. I am not going to feel disappointed for receiving the results of the promise my dad made to me. Okay, but I am going to enjoy that hope. I am going to enjoy the bicycle. So the fulfillment of all things in AD 70 does not destroy hope of anyone. But you even have to be glad that you are not you are not living in waiting for the fulfillment of this hope. When you look at Israel during their sojourning from Egypt to Canaan, God promised them that He's going to give them a land that flows with milk and honey and so on and so forth. Others rebel against um, Moses, and so they died. And I believe that Paul even admonished the saints in the first century, okay, not to harden their hearts as their fathers, did during the sojourning, during the wilderness, during that time. Okay, so today when you hear my voice, do not harden your heart as your forefathers, did in the wilderness. Okay, so uh they died, some died as a result of disbelieving Moses, and those who rebelled against him, they died. But eventually, even Moses himself could not even, get there. But eventually, they made it to the promised land, that land which flows with milk and honey. Now, the issue is that, were they disappointed when they entered the promised land? Were the Israelites, disappointed when they entered the promised land? Was it bad thing that they have that land flowing with milk and honey, you know, or was there wandering in the wilderness, dying, hoping that God will one day give them, that promised land? Was that better than they receiving that promise, that promise of entering into that land which flows with honey and milk? Or, which of these two was better? Okay, was it hoping for the promise, or the fulfillment of the fulfilled promise? Which of these is better, to wait in hope or to attain the hope? Okay, I don't think that the Israelites were disappointed when they eventually received the promise God made to them, because even in, I believe, Joshua chapter number 9 or something, it says that when they entered the land, they are shame, God rolled away their reproach. So they have now attained uh, their hope. And I don't think that they were disappointed. Neither were they sad. They rather enjoyed the fulfillment of the promises God made to them. Their hope has been attained. So they were now enjoying the milk and the honey nature of the land that they took possession of, or they took possessed of. Okay, so let us understand that fulfillment does not destroy hope. But that is what futurists will want us to believe today, that fulfillment actually destroys hope. That is how they want us to reason. See, when you tell them that this has been fulfilled, you say, no, 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 you are destroying hope, because I have a hope of you know uh, emerging from the soil and flying in the air to to meet the Lord in the air. So if you tell me that all things have been fulfilled, including First Thessalonians chapter 4, it means that you are destroying my hope. Now, which is better, to wait or to have it fulfilled? Which is better? Anyway, so whenever you tell them that all Bible prophecies have been fulfilled, they tend to object to it, and they believe that you are actually destroying their hope. Now, remember, in Proverbs chapter number 13, verse 12, Solomon said something there, that is very, very important. And so let's see as to see whether it actually destroys hope, as they want us to believe. So in verse 12, what do we have here? Chapter 13, Proverbs chapter 13. It says that hope deferred makes the heart sick. So hope deferred make their heart sick. Okay, delay of hope, okay, will sicken the heart. And that is how futurists want to behave. This is how they want to reason, and this is what they want. They want to keep their heart second, second, second. They want to keep their heart sick. Okay, they loved to have their hope deferred, to delayed. That sickens the heart. For instance, when my dad promised to buy me a bike, and he deferred the time which he said to fulfill this hope, that is going to sicken my heart. Okay, that is what futurists want to do. They want to postpone it this year. Oh, he's coming soon, he's coming soon. Now 2023 is almost over. Now we will enter into 2024. Oh, he's coming soon. Then that will come. Oh, then December comes again. He's coming. See, they keep on postponing. They keep on, sickening their hearts, and that is not good and good experience. But when the desire comes, it is a tree of life. Okay, so the fulfillment of all things, as Christ, said and posited it to be or to be fulfilled in connection with the fall of Jerusalem, is actually a tree of life. Now, when you read down a little bit to verse 19, it says that a desire accomplished is sweet to the soul. So fulfillment of all things does not destroy hope, but it is rather a sweet to the soul. But it is an abomination to fools to depart from evil. Okay, so this is what we are talking about. So do not think that when you say all things written have been fulfilled, we are actually destroying hope. That is not the case. We are not destroying hope. We are rather establishing hope. We are rather, uh, making you relieved from sickening your hearts. So in Matthew chapter number 24, this is what the Lord said concerning his coming. It is also there when it says that in the verse 31 and 30, 31, talks about the time when the Son of Man will come with his angels, with his trumpet sound. Then they will regather together, the elect from the four winds, And in verse 34, it said that assuredly I say to you, there are some standing here who shall not taste death till they see all these things coming. So the coming of the Lord with his angels to reward and to resurrect all belongs to the first century. And this is spoken in the context of the fall of Jerusalem. This is spoken in the context of the fall of Jerusalem. And this is how we have to understand it. Okay. I mean, it is there, you can read it. And lastly, in Luke chapter number 21, also the same AD 70 coming of the Lord. He also said that, when you see Jerusalem compared by armies, then know that its desolation is here. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let those who are in the midst of her depart. And let those who are in the country enter her not. For these are the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. I mean, it is there for you to read, okay? And in the in verse 20, it talks about the time of the redemption, also in connection with this event that befell Jerusalem in AD 70, which saw her city and the temple and the people enslaved, killed, and their city and the temple overthrown. And in verse 30, it said that when they now in verse 30, where it said that so also when you see these things, know that the kingdom of God is near. Assuredly, I say to you, this generation will by no means pass away till all these things take place. See, this is the Lord speaking. This generation will by no means pass away till all these things are fulfilled. So know when we say something is fulfilled, or all things are fulfilled, see the event that will occasion the fulfillment of all things, and know that it is rather a tree of life. It pleasing to the soul. It does not destroy hope, but it rather establishes hope, and we now live in that fulfilled hope. We have to end here. This is very short video. I hope it helps till we meet again. Bye.